Part 1 of Who the Fuck Is My Bridesmaid, because I just had to kick my bridesmaid out of my fucking wedding. If y'all know about the girl I made the trauma salad video with, I have since learned that a lot of the things that she has told me about her life, bizarre, completely made up. We had been friends for 7 years. In the late 2010s, she was even staying at my house, rent-free, utility-free, even when I was working and struggling as a full-time student. Mind you, she comes from a very wealthy background. She went to private schools her entire life in the UK. While I came from poverty, she knew this. While she was living with me, she is a very heavy smoker, and once she coughed up blood into my sink, and I was like, what the fuck? And she said, oh, it's the chemo. She has breast cancer. That's what she said, that she has breast cancer. She said she needs to go back to the UK for more chemotherapy. But I was like, wait, we go clubbing all the time. You're constantly drinking and smoking. At the bar, she sits me down in January 2025, and she's like, I need to tell you something. She's in tears. I'm like, what? And she's like, I have breast cancer. Like, it's new information. And I was like, oh my God, because what else can you say? And she's like, I need to go back to the UK and get surgery right away. And I was like, okay. And she said she had a scan. And I was like, okay, well, I'm here to support, because who lies about that? She gets kicked out of school because she doesn't make tuition payments. She was like a year behind, so like thousands of dollars essentially. She gets kicked out and she's upset because her mother passed away, and she's like, oh, I don't know why they're charging me when I'm going through this, when it's just like, it's a business, I fear. She got kicked out of school, and obviously you lose your student visa, so she needed to find a job. So I helped her find a job. And that's how she got her work visa. But to work in Japan, you need to take a health exam. And she did. And she went and posted a chest x-ray on her own public Instagram story. With the severity of the cancer, even with the x-ray, I understand you need a mammogram and you need, an MRI. Even so, the x-ray was clear. Part 2 of Who the Fuck Is My Bridesmaid. We decided to have an intervention all together as a friend group, including my husband, because my husband has also been directly affected by her with money. So we actually just wanted to talk with her because we all had concerns. However, let's focus on the cancer. I told my husband about the cancer because I was genuinely fucking concerned. So we're all in the circle, and my husband straight up asks, because we're already talking to her, she's already bullshitting. My husband's 36 years old. He does not have time to deal with this. We're grieving. We just lost his fucking father. And he was just like, wait, do you fucking have cancer? Do you have cancer? She backtracks and she's like, actually I have benign tumors. And that she got it sorted and checked out. And her best friend that's next to me, like her closest friend that she has now, looks at her and she's like, you never told me that. And she's like, yes, I did. And then her best friend's like, no, you didn't. And it's back and forth. Yes, I did. No, you didn't, for like a solid fucking minute. And that's not something that you lie about or forget about, so it's fucking confusing. She says she went to the doctor again, and she's clear, she's fine. She's gonna get it sorted later. Still, very vague. She always tells us the deepest shit that's going on in her life, like all her personal things. She's always telling us, but then with these things, it's very evasive. The reason we had this intervention in the first place was probably because of money. Where I was genuinely just feeling very weird about the way that she's been treating me with money in the past. And that will be for part 3, because this video is getting really, really long. Part 3 of Who the Fuck Is My Bridesmaid. So essentially we had this intervention because of money. All of us have mostly been aware of her financial issues. Ever since I met her, she has always been broke, needing money from her late mother, family members, friends, everyone that I can think of, really. Everyone that she knows has some type of story about her borrowing money and not paying back. Every single person. We stopped being friends in 2022, 2023 for like a year because, again, money. Come to find out, recently I found out like yesterday that she was going around telling friends that I was a bad friend, when in reality I was just, I couldn't be around someone that was borrowing money from me and not paying me back. That was it. When we became friends again, my boundary with her was, I do not want to lend you money anymore. I don't want to lend you money. And that boundary was respected for a bit until, I don't know, I would say the past year. I would lend her money. I would have to chase her to get it back. And last year, my husband lent her money. She said she'd pay him back in like a week. Took like 2 fucking months to get that money back. She's told friends that she's forgotten her wallet, when in reality her wallet was in her purse the whole fucking time. But recently, let's go back to recently, which all started this intervention. One of my close friends, Mia, was staying with me for a full month here in Kyoto this past month, from July to August. She left on August 23rd. On August 22nd, that was a Friday, we decided it's her final night, let's all go to karaoke at a karaoke bar. So I invite our friends. When I'm about to leave my house, Chu calls me on the phone. She says she left her wallet at work. And she works at school, right? So it's the weekend. She's not gonna be able to get it till Monday. I was like, fine, I'll give you $20. Whatever. I get the cash out. I give her the cash. Night's fine. We have a good night. I'm about to leave. We're all leaving. Me, Mia, we're taking the same fucking taxi together, right? And Chu looks at me and she asks me, she's like, how much more cash do you have left? And I'm like, oh, I have like 5,000 yen. Just think of it as like $50 essentially. But I have it as a single bill. And I was like, yeah, I just have like $50. And she's just looking at me. And I'm like, nah, no, I'm leaving. So I left. The next day, Saturday, Mia leaves in the morning, so Mia's no longer with us. However, I was going to go out that night with other friends to the club. But she comes along. And how does she come along is my question. How are you paying for the train? How are you paying for your drinks? It doesn't make sense. But she's fine the whole night. For me, the problem is the principle, because why are you going out when you have no money? Monday rolls around, where the fuck is my money? She's not messaging me. I'm just like, oh my god, whatever. Tuesday comes around, I text her, hey, do you have my money? She said, oh, can you come pick it up in Sanjo at 9 p.m. at the bar? No, I'm gonna be in bed. That's 35 minutes away from me. Why am I gonna pay money to go and pick up my money? What the fuck are you doing at the bar on Tuesday anyway? And I get it, she has a 54-year-old fucking boyfriend, bartender that works there or whatever, but it's just like, come to find out yesterday, I found out she actually owes him like 70,000 yen, which is, think of it, $700, in old, bar tab fees. I said, I'm not gonna go. She said, okay, I'll give it to you on Friday because we're going to K-Tronada. We had a K-Tronada concert on Friday. And Friday comes around and she tries to soft launch that she's not feeling good. But doesn't matter if she's not feeling good. She's going to be in that area. Even when her mom passed away, she was in that fucking area drinking and smoking. Nevertheless, she goes out anyway to that bar instead of going to the K-Tronada concert, which we all paid money for. We paid $80 for the fucking ticket. And she said she had tickets, but she didn't show up. And it's because she said she was supposed to get in for free because this girl that works at the bar was going to let her in for free. Her best friend's boyfriend comes up to me when we're lining up for the concert. It's like, hey, where's Chu at? You guys are always together. Her friend that was going to let her in or whatever is not here. She got sick. And he's like, I'm a DJ at this place. Like, I can't even get in for free for this event. Check her location. She's at Colors, at the bar, drinking, not giving me my money back. She's 5 minutes away. It doesn't make sense. Part 4 of Who the Fuck Is My Bridesmaid? Her late mother passed away last year, and she said that she was going to be a millionaire from her inheritance. Once that she's able to get that money, she will be balling out. She'll never struggle again. And I was like, great, awesome. You'll be fine, essentially. She went back to the UK. She said that she handled everything. Everything's taken care of. And now all that she really has to take care of is basically getting the inheritance money to her account, essentially. But this has been going on for the past year. And I know these things take time and, all those things. And she said that she needed to take care of her mother's businesses when she returned to the UK. Like she just needed to take care of that. And 2 days ago, I thought, none of this is making sense. The intervention makes no fucking sense. There's a lot of money involved. What the fuck is this? So I looked into her mother. And it is true, her mother had a lot of different businesses, but they have all since been dissolved and liquidated before she even passed away, years before she passed away. And so I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. So I messaged her friend from the UK to see what the fuck is going on. Her friend said that her mother basically died broke in a lot of debt trying to fund her daughter's lifestyle while in Japan. I look deeper into the businesses, see what's going on there, late rent payments, all that. Come to find out, I see a co-director there by the name of Barbara Kahan, who was born in, I believe, 1931. I thought that didn't make sense. I search her, immediate news articles pop up of so much investment fraud. Now I find out that Chu is getting sued in the UK. She doesn't know what to do about it because of her mother's debts. But I thought, you are not responsible for your mother's debts. She's gone. It does not get transferred onto you. In some cases it does, if you have like a co-loan, something like that. Come to find out, she never paid for the funeral and asked for someone to pay for her tuition fees at school. They gave her the money. She still owes the university she went to because I got her into that university. When she was getting expelled, I got her a meeting with the dean to see if there's any way to rectify it. The only way to rectify is if she paid, and she was given the money for that. Never went to the school. Part 5 of Who the Fuck Is My Bridesmaid? So as we know, there's no money coming in. There hasn't been money coming in for years. And for me personally, I feel like if I was going to be a millionaire, I would lock in and try to get all that, all the documentation as soon as possible. She's just been nothing, essentially. Nothing has happened. So she's still been borrowing money from everyone around her. She is living in her friend's house and using her late mother's credit cards for Uber Eats and Uber. Mind you, I got her current full-time job where she is working with children every day. She's been there for about 3 months. I knew how much her salary was going to be, around 220,000 yen maximum, because that's how much teachers make here. She said she's been working 12-hour days, 70 hours a week, 12-hour shifts, very tired, it's a hard job to work with kids. But also she said, my paycheck's only going to be 108,000 yen this month because I'm always calling into work sick. She called hungover. She showed up to work drunk. Come to find out, she never opened up a Japanese bank account in the 7 years she's lived here, and it's funny to her. So she's using someone she knows bank account to receive her paychecks. So I called that person, to see what's going on with her paychecks. She hasn't made over 200,000 yen per month in the 3 months that she's worked there. So at the intervention, she said she's making 380,000 yen per month. No one is making that much in Kyoto as an English teacher. She said it out of her fucking ass. And the fact that I had to go and ask the person that she's using, this person is younger than her. It's a very unfortunate situation. I told her to get out of this situation because she was just trying to help her for the goodness of her own fucking heart. I'm just like, this is crazy. This is actually crazy. You're relying on this person for your bank account and for housing. It's not right. Mind you, she was evicted from her old apartment for not paying rent, not paying bills. She would say that her electrics would also get cut off all the time, even though she paid. She's using the same excuse, saying that her gas has been cut off for months, despite paying. That doesn't happen here in Japan. It really doesn't. It's a really fixable thing. So the reality is she isn't making those payments. Again, none of these utilities are even in her name in the first place. So it's just a continuation of her using people. And it's fucked up. Not only that, she's inviting people into that house. The person that's allowing her to live there has no idea. So I told her she's inviting creepy ass fucking men into this place who's stalking her. She has a stalker stalking her, going into her house. Bad news. I won't go deep into that, but it's you're not respecting the home. You're really not. It's fucking dirty. It's a dirty house. You're not respecting the home. Part 6 of Who the Fuck Is My Bridesmaid? So last week she sent me basically an Instagram message, a disappearing photo of on this day last year. And on this day last year, I was like, huh? I was like, what happened? She said, oh, remember when I had a suicide attempt and you and your husband had to come and save me? I was like, whoa, that was not a suicide attempt. Thinking to myself, that was not a suicide attempt. What do you mean? Because she turned off her location. She wasn't answering messages. So we showed up to her house and her door was unlocked and she was just on the bed on her phone. And she was like, yeah, when you had to come in, make sure I was good. I was like, yeah, that's not a suicide attempt. And so I asked another friend about it yesterday. I was like, did she try to kill herself last year? And she was like, oh yeah, she told me she OD'd when you came over and helped her. What the fuck are you talking about? And it's such a slap in the face because I have OD'd twice, trying to myself. So I'm just like, you're lying. So back to when I asked her to be my bridesmaid, I asked her to be my bridesmaid because we were really, really close. And it was not clear to me how, the extent of her lies. I knew that she had an issue, mentally with, compulsive lying. But for small stuff, it wasn't this fucking crazy. Who the Fuck Is My Bridesmaid? Part 7. Tell me why I just found out. She is not Vietnamese. She has told us ever since we met her 2018 that she is half Vietnamese, half Bayesian from the Caribbean. Turns out her dad is fully black. I just learned that today. And her whole time she was talking about how she has a Vietnamese family and people from Vietnam, and her dad is Vietnamese from Vietnam. And I met her sibling. I knew her sibling. She looked fully black. But, mixed genes, you never know. Tell me why I found out just now, her childhood friend. What do you mean? Her dad is black. And I'm like, okay, but does her wife know this? Because she said she's married, to a woman. She got married in the UK. And her friend is married to who? And I'm like, I say her name. And she's like, girl, that's my cousin. They're not married. They're friends. This whole thing has been a lie. This whole fucking thing has been a fucking lie. I am shocked. I am in actual fucking shock. And she does have Blasian features, so I was very confused about this. And also, I call her Chu. I say that her name is Chu, right? I've said it the whole time. That's not her name. Everyone from the UK I've ever met, they call her Chloe. But when she moved here, she said her name is Chu. Her real name is fucking Chloe. She made up the fucking Chu name from YouTube, because that's her YouTube name. And when I, introduced her to my other friends years back, one of them was Vietnamese, and they said, oh, like they told me, hey, Chu is actually like not a Vietnamese name. It's a surname, but it's not a first name, so I don't know where the name Chu comes from. But I ignored it because I'm like, I don't know. She told me she's Vietnamese. She looks Vietnamese. I'm gonna believe my friend. That's not even her name. That's not her fucking name. Who the fuck is my bridesmaid part 8? I had just found out that the half-sister that I met, who came into my house, is not her sister. That's her friend. She told me she was her younger sister. Chu told me it was her younger sister. I believed her, because why would you lie about that? Like who your siblings are, and that they share the same father. I asked her friend about it. She was like, that's not true. That's her friend. I talked to another friend here that lives in Japan. I was like, yeah, that's not her sister. She was like, oh, what about her brother? And I said, what the fuck do you mean? She told me she only has sisters. And she said, no, she has a brother called Rafi, and like sent me the Instagram. And so I messaged about it. That's not her brother. That's her friend / acquaintance. It gets to a point where I feel like I'm living in a sitcom, like an actual fucking sitcom. Who the fuck is my bridesmaid part? I don't know. It's 7 a.m. We had a phone call from like 8 p.m. to midnight last night. It was very long, trying to interrogate her. There was 6 people in the call who have been directly affected by her. She finally admitted verbally that she is not Asian. Actually, she said she's not Vietnamese, but actually she's mixed and a little bit Asian, but also said that her dad is black and her mom, we see that she is black. She told everyone multiple things about her birthplace, where she was really born, and insists that she actually told everyone that she was born in Barbados. And I asked her if she's really married, and she said no, it's actually a legal partnership. I reached out to the so-called legal partnered wife, and she was like, LOL, no, what, why is she saying that? And then I relayed this to the phone call, and she was just like, why would she say that? I asked her sister that I met on Halloween, is it true that you guys are biological sisters? She's like, what are you talking about? We've only been friends since 2016. Fuck is my bridesmaid part 10. So basically she has begged me to take these TikToks down. I told her multiple times, fuck no. No, because she, it's affecting her mentally. People are sending death threats apparently, and I said, can you send me the death threats? And she said, well, no, I've deleted them. And I'm just like, okay. But either way, she's begging me to take the TikToks down because it's very mentally draining, and she's worried about her job. And I just told her, like, if it's such a problem, just log off. Turn off your DMs. Log off. Don't look. And again, I'm just like, why should I preserve your comfort? And she's like, okay, but what about my medical stuff? My x-rays, is on there. And I'm just like, the x-ray with a big ass necklace on and the underwire. And I said, if she can give us proof that she actually has cancer, then I will publicly apologize to everyone. I'll give her a personal apology. If she can just provide that. And I know it's so intense to be like, oh my God, show us your medical records. But at this point in time, we've been friends for 7 years, and she is going to provide it. She said she's working on it, even though it's just easy to log into the NHS app in the UK, and she says she's having difficulty logging into that. And also I'm like, what about in Japan? You went to a clinic in Japan, you got a scan. She's like, yeah, but it was at my old, like where I used to live at, which is like, not that far. You can just call them and walk in and get your records, but I don't know why it's so hard. I know, like, she said she's working on it, and she asked me if, an appointment letter would be good, and I was just like, no. It just shows that you have an appointment, like it has no other information. And she's like, okay, but what about like a prescription? And I was like, maybe. So I don't fucking know. But again, guys, I will publicly apologize to everyone for like, sharing that medical information. But either way, you guys, like, oh my God. Claims and verified truths of Chu / Chloe. Not gonna say her government name. She claimed that she was Vietnamese. She said this to everyone once she moved to Japan. This is a lie. Her father is fully black, and baby photos support this, and this has been verified by multiple people. There have been multiple claims about her birthplace, where she has told people where she is born between Barbados or China. Still, I think it's Barbados. However, she has told people China. The claim that she has a sister that I met in real life, she came over from Korea on Halloween, fully black. Her sister is not her sister, and this is verified by the sister that I met. When I argued this with Chu, she said, no, it's just because we're so close that we call each other sisters. As you guys can see from the screenshots, that is not the case. She also claimed that the influencer It's Rafi is her brother. That's not her brother. I barely found out about this. I didn't know that she claimed this to be her brother, but other people have said this. She also claimed that this is her cousin Debbie. Still unverified, but also I don't believe shit at this point. The same father as aforementioned, who we originally thought was Vietnamese, was claimed to be a drug addict who showed up to her mother's funeral making a scene. The reality is the people there at the funeral said the funeral was beautiful and went smoothly. She was claimed that she was in a legal partnership or married with a woman. The alleged wife has denied the marriage multiple times. In another video, she claimed with me on my TikTok channel that she had followed her first fiance to Japan. Truth is, they were never engaged. Next claim is that she has breast cancer and has breast cancer for the past several years and has been trying to find medical records to prove this, and she cannot find them despite her own sister, her real sister, working for the NHS. She also said she can't log into her NHS account. Okay. Claim she tried to kill herself last August and that myself and my husband came to save her. My husband and I were there. She was fine. She was on her phone. She also claimed that she tried to kill herself when her actual fiance, who I met in real life, cheated on her. This never happened. And also she has a pattern of borrowing money from everyone that she has ever encountered, with claims of, her having a hard time, her mother having cancer. And the truth is that her mother died broke because of Chloe and trying to sustain Chloe's lifestyle while living in Japan. There has been a long time struggle of financial dependence and also exploitation of everyone involved. Obviously, these lies are so connected where 3 different countries are involved, and either way she has nothing going for her here. She's been getting evicted, she's been getting kicked out of school, going out multiple times a week, getting drunk at bars until 6 a.m. So why is she here? I don't know, but yeah.
Your name and where you're from?
I'm Chu from London.
And of all places, why are you in Japan?
I followed my predator ex-fiance here at 17 and then just kind of stayed here for the vibes.
I think the reason that I stayed friends with her for so long, now that I look back at it, is I think she used my trauma as a way to be friends with me, because we do have similar backgrounds where we both are biracial and have a mixed identity. And also, when I first moved to Japan, I was very open of the fact that I was brutally sexually assaulted, and she had her own story to share as well, and that's something that we both bonded over. And conveniently, she had the same mental illness diagnosis that I actually had. And I felt at the moment, and she would mention multiple times that she's really the only person that can really understand me, because we are both very similar with things that we have been through, where now I feel like she maybe never went through many of these things at all. So in reality, I just feel taken advantage of, especially because I've shared everything with her about my life, and I feel like it's been twisted and used, where she has taken me as a person and has transferred it onto herself, of her identity, and just to be a reflection of who I am, to manipulate me into being her friend and to continue giving her money. And I'm just I feel fucking crazy right now. So that's why I'm just this is huge. Yes, a man stealthed her, which is literally a form of... So I was like, what the fuck? Block him. And she did. Until one day I was at the bar and I saw her phone blowing up and I was like, what? And she was like, oh, he won't leave me alone. I'm like, I thought you blocked him. And she's like, no, because if I block him, he shows up to where I live. And I was like, okay, but you moved. She got evicted. And then she moved in with a friend. And so I was like, how the fuck does he know where you live now? And she was like, well, one day I needed something. And obviously I couldn't pick it up outside, so he came in. Come to find out that the friend who is letting her live in her house had no fucking idea. And she was like, I called her 2 days ago. And I was like, did you know that you have Yakuza in your fucking house? And she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Explain the situation over the phone. We had the 6-person fucking phone call, and her friend / landlord essentially was on the phone who the fuck are you letting into my house? She's like, I thought I told you. And it was like, no, the fuck you didn't.